All right, let's talk about a huge, fundamental shift in how the best teams are starting to work. It's a move away from what you could call a culture of permission and into something much more powerful, a culture of leadership. We're going to break down how this one change can pretty much unlock all the hidden potential in a team.
Okay, so this right here, this sentence is everything. It's the absolute cornerstone of this entire idea. It's a declaration that just completely changes the game. It moves everyone away from a mindset of, can I please have approval, to one of, I am taking ownership. You got to get this shift to get the whole model.
So, why is a change like this so important? Well, first, let's look at a really common problem, a bottleneck that I bet a lot of us have felt, but if you look at it just right, that bottleneck, it's actually our biggest opportunity.
Let's just be real for a second. We've all felt this, right? That feeling of being totally stuck, just waiting for someone to give you the green light on a decision you know is the right one. This whole cycle of asking for permission, it doesn't just slow things down, it actually crushes our potential.
Here's a perfect example from a company that went through this. A team member, they had to text their manager for permission to give a $50 gift card to a customer. I mean, think about that. $50. This isn't just a little inefficient, it's totally disempowering. It stops good people from actually leading when it matters most.
Okay, so if that old leader-follower way is broken, what's the fix? What's the alternative? Well, the solution is something called a leader-leader culture.
And leader-leader culture, it's not just some trendy corporate buzzword. It's a complete rewiring of how a team is structured. You're moving away from that classic pyramid, where all the decisions have to go up to the top, and you're moving into a network where every single person is empowered to act like a leader.
And this isn't just theory. I mean, some of the most respected companies in the world operate exactly like this. Think about the Ritz-Carlton. Any employee can spend up to $2,000 right there on the spot to fix a guest's problem. No questions asked. Or Toyota. Any worker on the factory floor can pull a cord and stop the entire assembly line. That's not chaos. That's empowerment. It's built on a massive foundation of trust.
So this brings us to the secret sauce, the actual mechanic, the specific change in how we act and talk that makes this whole culture possible. And it's called the power of intent.
The shift really just comes down to a simple change in words. The old way is asking, is it okay if I, which dumps all the ownership onto your leader. The new way is stating, I intend to do this and here's why. See the difference? That simple phrase shows you own it, and it creates instant forward motion.
So, how does this actually work? It's a really simple three-step conversation. First, you state what you intend to do, and you explain your why. Now, here's the key. The leader's job totally changes. They are not there to give a yes or no. They're there to ask clarifying questions, to poke at the logic. The goal for everybody involved is not to get approval, it's to get to a shared understanding of what the best move is.
Now you're probably thinking, okay, but how does this not just create total chaos? That is a great question, and the answer is found in our most valuable currency.
This is such a powerful way to think about it. When a leader empowers you, they are basically loaning you their authority. They're taking on a risk. And in return, all they're asking is that you protect that risk by just communicating what's going on. Communication is the money that backs up this loan of authority.
And it is so important to get this. This is not micromanagement. It is the absolute opposite. This constant flow of information isn't about checking up on people. It's the fuel that lets a high-trust, high-autonomy team run at full speed. It protects everyone because the whole team knows what's going on.
Okay, so the theory is powerful, but how does a team actually start doing this? Let's look at a really concrete plan for how you can roll this out.
The very first step is often to put a real number on this new power. In the case we're looking at, the team started with $100. And that number isn't random. It's a super clear, simple symbol of trust. It's a starting line.
This became the $100 rule. For any issue with a customer, every single person on the team had the authority to fix it on the spot, up to $100. They didn't need permission, they didn't even need to state their intent for these smaller calls. Their only job was to log what they did afterward, just to keep that shared awareness going. It's simple, it's clear, and you can start doing it today.
All right, now for the last and maybe the most critical piece of this whole puzzle. What happens when things go wrong? Because they will. And that's not just okay, it's actually essential if we want to grow. This whole model requires you to completely redefine what failure means. A mistake is no longer something you should fear or get punished for. Instead, you reframe it as a learning opportunity. Every single time something doesn't go quite right, you see it as a direct, valuable investment in the team's brainpower.
And to do that, you use a really simple, disciplined, no-blame process. It's all built around 3 questions. 1, what happened? And you just stick to the facts. 2, what could we have done better? And 3, what will we, as a team, commit to doing differently next time?
Just think about that mindset for a second. Whatever that mistake cost, whether it was time or money or reputation, it's been transformed. It's now a direct investment in our training, and it guarantees we'll be smarter and stronger because of it.
And that brings us to the final, huge question this whole model leaves us with. What actually becomes possible for our team, for our mission, when every single person is truly empowered to lead? The potential is just limitless.